Shatner.
Look at all of you. I couldn't find my way here. No, really. I mean, I thought, you know, when you get on the stage and think, what am I going to talk about and ask questions, I thought, you know, the spirit of adventure. And I have something in mind, but I didn't realize it's the spirit of adventure just getting you. So I thought the subject matter, because I'm up to some unusual things, and I thought maybe I'd tell you a little bit about it, and then I'll take questions and, you know, play nice. But so one of the exciting things, talking about, and it's no accident that I bring up the word adventure. One of the things I'm doing this year is I'm planning a Star Trek trek into the Antarctic. So there's a boat that ship, that's the correct word, isn't it?
Yes, ship.
I think they fall, the Navy just blanches and falls dead in a faint. It's a nice boat. Oh, don't say boat! It's a ship, so it's a cruise ship that goes from the southern point of South America. There's a name for it. Does anybody remember the name? Like Luigi or something, the town. And they sail from there across the wildest waters on Earth that, I don't remember how many miles is it, but it's hundreds of miles, across to the continent of Antarctica, which we've just found out is part of the New Zealandia, is a new continent we've just discovered, along with a new planet we're discovering out there. So this cruise ship, which leaves Christmas week, goes to the Antarctic. I'll be aboard. Several other people who are entertainers will be aboard, and it's kind of expensive, but a week, 10 days really, in the Antarctic, and all of us looking and discussing and seeing. So it's like the spirit of adventure. And I'm fascinated by the Antarctic. So over the years, I've kind of thought about it and came across Shackleton's, name sound familiar? Book, Shackleton. Does anybody remember his first name? Bobby. Dick Shackleton, who remembers? But Sir Shackleton sailed a boat in the 1800s to Antarctic. Now the Antarctic still is, but more so then, was like going into space. And nobody knew. Nobody knew anything. Nobody knew that the ice froze over, and so it happened. He sails his boat, the ship, into the Antarctic. The ice that's melting, freezing and unfreezing, freezes around his boat, starts to crack his ship, doggone it, and they jump off and they get their lifeboats and they pull their lifeboats across the freezing ocean ice to where it's open sea, get in their lifeboats, and they're on the Antarctic. And this part of the southern Pacific is the wildest, and they row, and they have in the back, it may have been Shackleton or it may have been a navigator, they have a guy with the thing that looks at the sun. Problem is, there's no sun. It's all foggy and misty and windy, and it's filled with such jeopardy. They're in an open boat, and they're rowing in the middle of the Antarctic Ocean, and he lets part of his crew off an island and continues on, finds another island that he was looking for. In any case, he gets all his men back over a period of about 2 years. Nobody died, and it was like a huge adventure. So this ship, this cruise, is going to take place on the Christmas week, and I'll be part of it. So keep abreast of it for those of you who might want one of the great holidays and great adventures. It's part of this adventure that I keep in the back of my mind, like it's an adventure. And actually, if you pay attention, everything's an adventure. Just getting here. So that's one of the adventures I'm doing. Another adventure that I'm on is, it's like everything's breaking out this year. Masters of the Universe. It's just been, yesterday or the day before, just been released. I did some publicity on Monday, I guess, for it, and it's getting great reviews, and people are going to see it. So Masters of the Universe. And then there's an album called Call Me Bill, which has been out there quite a while. But a new album I just finished making, a children's album, entitled Where Will the Animals Sleep, which is part of the major song on that album, which says, if we destroy everything, where would the animals sleep? So it's like a great song. And then some time ago, I performed at the Kennedy Center with songs that Robert Sherwood and I and Daniel Miller wrote, and gave a concert at Kennedy Center, recorded it as a concert, so it's going to be released as a documentary, and then the music, the London Symphony Orchestra, which is a prestigious label, picked up the music, so it's about in the spring to be released as live at the Kennedy Center, and some wonderful songs that we wrote. The major song of that album, that period, is So Fragile, So Blue, which is a song about what I felt like when I came off the spaceship, the Blue Origin, that I took up there and took down, to talk about spirit of adventure, and what I felt. And we've got it to a 70-piece orchestra. So LSO will be releasing, I'm not quite sure what we're calling it, something like Live at Kennedy. So that's coming out. Then, on top of all that, there's a movie, and this is, I need your help in taking suggestions. So, I've made a movie, a documentary about me, okay? So somebody came to me, Legion M is the name of the company. And so the Legion M company was a year ago came to me. So we'd like to do a biographical film on you. So I've been turning that down, like, I don't need a biography. So, but these guys, this was the uniqueness and the adventure they're on. They uniquely have the premise, their company is, we're always assailed by, give me money and I'll do X and Y. This company said, put money into our company. This will be funded by people who give as little as, $100 or more or less. And you own the company. So this movie, which is entitled Call Me Bill, is funded by you guys. Anybody here? One of the, there's some ads. Yeah, they're the producers. We don't get paid until you get your money back. I haven't been paid. My adventure. No, so the movie's going to be released momentarily. I'm just bored. Ask me a question. Where are you? No, not you. We got to get to mine. Where's the line? Okay, you guys. Nice. Get right into the mic. so we can understand the question.
Well, I want to thank you for being here, Mr. Shatner.
No. Thank you for being here. Really, I'm part of the community. I own some land nearby, so this is like this great town, great people come and go. It's a great, and the weather. Oh my God! Please,
Anyway,
thank you for being here.
I really enjoyed all the shows that you've been in, and my name is Paul. I'm a retired firefighter paramedic.
Oh, that's great, Paul.
And I was actually an episode of 911 in August of '84.
What was that about 911?
I was in an episode of Rescue 911.
Were you really?
In '84, yes.
Was I in it?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Great movie. You can stop it.
Did we meet?
Not really.
That's why I remember you very well. Oh man, it's you. I didn't meet you. That's great.
My question is, how much fun did you have making a show with Terry Bradshaw and George Foreman and Henry Winkler?
Yeah. What's it called? Better Late Than Never.
Better Late Than Never.
I tell you, let's see if I can think of an example. Have you ever had an itch, like a really, your skin like dry and itching, and it's both pleasure and pain? You go, oh God, yeah, oh, that hurts. Okay? Have you ever had that? That's what that show is like. Okay? So, the guys were fantastic. What a pleasure to have met one of the great quarterbacks, Terry Bradshaw, and George Foreman. I got in the ring with George Foreman. George Foreman told me when I was a kid, and certainly by the age of 16, I used to fight, just for the pleasure of fighting. And I wanted to kill him. I was a killer. And then when I turned pro, and he won the Golden Globe. I won the Golden Globe, and he won the Golden Gloves. I don't know which I'd rather have. So he said, when I was a killer on the street, and I wanted to hurt people, and then I won the Golden Gloves, and I killed them, and then I turned pro, and I killed him, and I got to about the age of whatever it was, 25, 28, and he won the World Championship, Heavyweight Championship, and I killed him, and I got scared. I scared myself, so I quit, and I just stopped. I stopped fighting, and I had my 12 kids, all of which are named George. Did you know that? George, and 12 kids. Yes, Dad? Take the garbage out. My name is Kenny. So then he retired. I think he discovered religion and all. Then he retired, and he was out for about 10 years. And then he decided to come back in. I said, "Well, why?" He said, "Because my kids would sit around the table and go." They were hungry, and he needed to make some money to feed his 12 kids. And George, are you hungry? And the chorus was, "Yes, we're starving, Daddy." So he went back in. Now that he had found religion, he wasn't the killer. So he won the world championship, the heavyweight boxing thing again, and he was a different man. And the man I met was a preacher. He has his own church, I believe, somewhere in Texas. Great, beautiful man. So we're in Thailand, I think I was, and so one of the producers says, "All right, today let's Shatner get in the ring with George Foreman." Oh, okay. I mean, so I used to box. My shoulder too sore now. I'm punching him, bang, 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 and he's looking at me with his hands up, and I'm punching him a little harder. Now, bang, and I bang a little harder, and then I look into his eyes, and you know the special effects of the eyes changing, like they go from and I saw this former killer come out in his eyes as he swung at me and knocked me out or something. I pretended to fall on the floor because I didn't want him to hit me again. My adventure with George Foreman. Well, I suppose one of the great moments of that show was Terry Bradshaw a four-time winner of the Super Bowl, and he had like 4 rings. And he's a jock, and he's funny, and he's great, and of course, when he was younger, a great athlete. So now he's not as great an athlete as he once was, but this show, Better Late Than Ever, was Henry Winkler, George Foreman, Terry Bradshaw, and myself. God, I haven't been able to remember those things until right now. You don't understand. That was a feat of memory for me. So we get to Sweden, what's the capital of Sweden? Stockholm. We get to Stockholm. And now the way they worked the show was the producers say, "All right, here's the thing. You're on stage in front of a lot of people. Okay, that's it. And now we're on stage with a lot of people, and we've got to ad-lib, and we make it up as we go along. Totally ad-lib, just given a situation." So the producers say, "All right, one of the delicacies in Sweden is not rotten fish, but what? Fermented. Bless you, my son. Is fermented fish. Now, ferment is like bacterial access of cheese. Have you ever smelled really bad cheese? Come on. But have you ever tasted that cheese that smells so bad? It's a totally different experience. So here is this fermented fish in a tin can. And anybody who knows about canning knows that if the tin is expanding, the stuff inside is not good. You poison yourself, except because it's fermenting. But the fish is already fermented. It's in the can. And they said, all right, you guys got to open the can, and somebody's got to eat the fish. So there's 4 of us, right? So the 4 of us, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's like 4 or 5 cameras all pointing at us. One of the cameras taking a close-up of me. The frame line somehow took in the camera of this camera here. So there's one camera, this camera here, and this camera here. So we struggle and open the can, which bursts open, and the most foul-smelling. I did a cop show called T.J. Booker. So I became long in the past. We applaud, what's the movie, the Masters of the Universe. You applaud. The stuff in the back, it's all gone. So we open the can bursts open, and as playing a cop, I've gotten to know really experienced policemen. They would describe how a dead body smelled after being 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in the open. The stench is, they have to hold a handkerchief. They say you want to faint, it smells so bad. Couldn't have smelled any worse than this fish. Because this camera, which is catching, the frame of that camera is catching the cameraman taking this one. And that cameraman turns around and, what do you call it? Vomits, expels, projectile vomit. So he turns, the cameraman's like, oh, he doesn't say, he smells it, he goes, projectile vomit. That's how bad it was. So now I've got a piece of the fish in my hand, and I'm looking at Terry Bradshaw. And Terry knew exactly what I wanted to do. So he got up and he started running away. And I ran after him, and he made a dart to his left, fell to the ground, and I jumped on, wiped it all over his jacket. And he said later, the worst thing that ever happened to him was Shatner running me down. It was a fun show. We travel all over the world. But talk about spirit of adventure. Good. There are people there, right?
Yes.
Yes, good. Person.
Hi. This is my second time meeting you. I actually met you.
Right into the mic there.
I actually met you at GalaxyCon with a giant Pikachu.
Oh, right.
And
I do that all the time.
Yes.
Hey, you're the guy. Right. My memory is so bad.
No.
That I met somebody backstage 5 minutes ago. I have no idea who that was.
You're perfectly fine. So with an exclusive that you did with Variety, you had expressed that going into space had filled you with quite a bit of of guilt after you had viewed, being outside.
Yes.
So what have you done now to combat that guilt, and how have you changed your life since going into space like that?
Wow, what a question. Well, let's see where to start. I'll start from the beginning. I read Rachel Carson's book, Silent Spring, when it came out. That was 60 years ago. So 60 years ago, I became aware of the Earth turning in on itself because we're poisoning it. She wrote about DDT and the way DDT was affecting the eggshells of birds, making them so soft that even the wild birds, the shells of their eggs would crack when they sat on them, and the bird population was descending. And she wrote about it, and it became the rallying cry. And DDT and its absence, along with that gas in our refrigerators, Freon, are 2 examples of what human beings can do to save the world. So after the DDT thing, it became a matter of seeing what else we were doing to the world and poisoning it in every aspect of it. And I became a believer, and I made a series of 13 shows. 13, I think they were half hours, they might have been hours, in which I and Michael Tobias, a well-known ecologist, filmmaker, went to various parts of the world. I went to the foothills of the foothills of Mount Everest, and the Himalayas, that they pronounce it there, the Himalayas. I went there with a camera crew, and at the confluence of 3 mountains that came together in this valley, holy mountains to the Buddhists who were in, I think it was Nepal. So the camera crew, there's 3 or 4 of them, me, Michael, very few people, half a dozen people, arrived at this valley, a very holy valley of the Buddhists. So here's 3 mountains, and over there on a mountaintop is a Buddhist temple. It's 1,000 years old, and it's a holy place, Rinpoche. If anybody knows more about the name than I do, but it's pretty much like Rinpoche, and it's a holy temple where monks go to become monks. So we went there, and that's where they go for enlightenment, whatever that means. To be enlightened by the gods or the feelings or nature. And I wanted to find that. I wanted to have that adventure of I don't know, realization of finding myself. I don't quite know what that means to be in search of yourself, because I don't know what you find, Could find fermented fish, I don't know. So I'm there. And everybody's got a cabin sort of thing. I'm sleeping outside in my bedroom, waiting for enlightenment. Wow. And the evenings turn into night, and night becomes morning, and I'm waiting. And there's no life. You're at 15,000 feet. There are no birds. There's only the sound of the wind and the brushing by the giant rocks and snow. 7 nights I waited, no enlightenment. Ready to go at the end of the weekend. I think, God, that's too bad. And as I'm getting up, packing my stuff, some sand that had been caught in my hand fell to the ground. And I had a realization. I realized, for enlightenment, you don't need to be there. You could be anywhere. You could be here right now. We could be, I don't know, whatever enlightenment means. Whether you see the truth of yourself or the universe, I don't know. But you can find enlightenment. You don't have to go to the Himalayas. Have it right here in Disneyland. But actually, Disney World, excuse me. I took my whole family to Disneyland this Christmas. That was enlightening. Boy, it's expensive. The show contained those elements of each of the actors going to a place that they suggested. I suggested Lithuania, and they have a story too. In any case, it was a great, adventuresome show. Okay. Next question.
Hello there.
I'm deafening at the end, okay? Save it all.
I was like, should I do this in my horrible impression?
Wait a minute, you're gonna do an impression?
Could I
No.
do a terrible impression?
I don't know what you're doing.
I ask you a question.
Would you ask that man to leave right on out there?
Oh, no.
What in heaven's name are you doing?
I'm trying to talk into my phone.
All right, you got it off now? You feel good?
I do.
All right, great. Wipe your mouth off. A little dribble goes right down you. What do you want to ask a question?
I would love
or
to.
you want to come up on stage and take over? That's what he wants to do.
They wouldn't like that.
No.
But I'd be happy
Well, what
to
do
help.
you care?
Right? It's a win for us all. Thank you. So, my mom told me not to make a fool of myself, and I did
Well,
it.
go back and say, Mom, I should have taken your advice.
Thank you very much. And
What?
thank you, everyone. So,
You got to ask a question, man, and get out of here because.
you've done a lot of really amazing things and obviously some iconic stuff. But what is it that what is it that attracts you to some of these more niche kind of things? Like, you were fantastic in like the Priceline ads, but then you're in Rescue 911. So what is it that attracts you to those things? Because we all love those things.
You've just endeared yourself to me. What attracts me to do some work? Well, I think it's the adventure of it. Yeah, the adventure. Like, what's the producer's name of the animated film I just did?
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith. So I've become acquainted with Kevin Smith. I didn't know his work beforehand, but when I was told who's making the movie, it's Kevin Smith. I said, well, no, they began to tell me about Kevin Smith and the stuff he's done. So I did, what's his name? The character Jerkoff?
It's an He-Man character. Go with it.
Wait a minute, no, there's another character's name though. There's two names.
Skeleton.
What's his name? Delcor. Skeletor. And what's the other name? Caldor. Did I do both? Okay, it's been a year, you know. Anyway, it's just doing an animated film, doing something in animation. And I don't know why they do this, but each actor is brought into a studio and they're themselves. I mean, if you're in a 2 or 3 character scene, the other 2 actors are not there. The director or somebody reads the line, I love you so much. You love me, you do, I mean, it's, yes, I have such a passion for you. You have a passion for, and you're there all alone trying to make something work. So he was surprised by my playing all the characters. Apparently it's a good film. But why did I choose to do it? Because it was kind of a weird character. I did something on Batman. The Two-Face guy?
Yeah.
Two-Face guy. So they screened the animation. They had already done the animation. And they were putting my voice there was a picture up on the screen. And so I watched, and he's supposed to turn into he turns into a bad guy. Or it becomes all green or something. And so the key moment was the good guy that I was playing turns into a bad guy. And I had to do it vocally because the artists had already done it in painting. So I looked at the screen and then began to, don't let me out of no, you can't go, you know I got you. And I'm doing 2 voices as the bad guy begins to assume it. Then I look into the room where the producers were. It was packed. It was like everybody came from all the offices. Come on, you want to see a show? Shatner's going to do 2 voices. And it was packed, like with about 50 people in a little room. And I don't care. No, please, don't. She asked me why. That's the reason why.
Thank you very much.
He didn't turn out to be such a bad guy after all.
Hi, good morning.
Where are you?
Right here.
Okay.
Alright, so I got my
And
dad.
these 2 lights are kind of blinding, so
Gotcha.
I see a dim outfit you're like in brown, right?
Oh, it's blue and black.
See?
Alright, so I've got my dad on the line here.
Oh, really? You got
we're
your dad
both-
on the line.
His name is Kevin.
Don't be afraid. What does he say? Don't be afraid, dear. Talk into the microphone, sweetheart.
we both.
Daddy's right beside you. Don't worry about it.
So we both really love Twilight Zone, and obviously he's like your biggest Star Trek fan. We had a question, which was.
What's your daddy doing on the phone, though?
Well, he's in Missouri. He couldn't make
What?
it out here.
What?
He's in Missouri. He couldn't make it out here.
He's what? Oh, he's in Missouri. I don't have to fear him coming here and attacking me because I'm rude to his little boy.
Anyway, so.
Sure, anyway for you, but I'm being attacked.
The question we had was, are there any
The question we had. That's beautiful, man. Do you really love your father?
I mean, he's a huge fan. He's never got.
No, but wait a minute. What's the relationship?
He's inspired me. He showed me Star Trek.
Oh, there you are. Tell your daddy he just got applause.
Anyway.
You tried to brush him off with and dismissing it with an anyway. It's not. It's really important. You're identifying with your dad and we're with you. You got your father. How many people can say, I've got my father with me and we want to ask you a question? Are you going to interpret for him?
Dad, can you talk? Can you hear you?
What did you say?
I cannot make out what he's saying.
Wait a minute, you cannot make out what your daddy is saying?
He can't hear what you're saying.
Oh, no, that's okay.
It's filmed.
Nobody pays attention to me anyhow. What is Daddy saying?
So we want to know,
Okay.
out of the shows from that era, Star Trek, Twilight Zone, what is your favorite that's maybe a little bit more obscure than those that really stands out to you from that era?
Wait a minute, from that era. What is it? It's era, right? From that time,
You know, the olden times.
from that mystical time in the past. What stands out to me?
Yeah.
My dog. I have a great dog. Got two great dogs. Now, what does it stand? What do you mean stand out? What shows? I don't even remember what shows. What? Give me a specific, and I'll tell you what stands out.
Oh,
No, wait a minute. We're hearing from Daddy, not you.
he said Nightmare at 20,000 feet gave him nightmares.
Well, that's what it was designed to do.
That's what it was.
Nightmare at 27,000 feet was, imagine reading a script. Okay, here's a script, Shatner. It's got this popular show called Twilight Zone. We'd like you to be part of it. Okay, and I'm a starting actor at that point. I mean, anything. Keep a roof over my three kids' heads. And feed the dog. It was a big dog. So I read the script, and it was kind of like silly, but I thought, okay. And then I met the guy on the top of the wing, and he was a Czechoslovakian acrobat in a furry little suit. And if you're standing on the wing of a 747 at 500 miles an hour, you don't want a furry little suit. You want something that's designed to shed the wind, don't you? You want like sleek things, because you're standing on the wing of the 747. And I don't know where he came from, I don't know where he went, the little guy on the wing. And he was a Czechoslovakian acrobat in a furry suit. So I kind of laughed at it. I kind of thought, I don't know about this one. And it became very popular. So what does that say about your daddy? Have you got anything to say to that?
Do you have anything to say about
Does that satisfy your curiosity?
He just loves you so much. I
Tell
appreciate it.
him I love Eddie Berger for his passion. And I thank you too. Listen, everybody, thank you so much for giving me a signal. Thank you. Thank you.